for President Lai's visit to Hawaii. We have a long connection with our ancestral connection to the indigenous people of Taiwan, so it's very special that he's here. Representing all the people, including the indigenous people of Taiwan. If you remember, during the Festival of Pacific Arts and Culture that we had this past summer, our first presentation was the indigenous people of Taiwan at the festival. So it's very special that he's here, given the long ties of Hawaii and economically, people who have come here, and especially here at the East-West Center, where we have long educational ties to Taiwan.
How do you think President Lai's today's speech, he will talk about Taiwan's role in the Indo-Pacific?
You know, I think I'm looking forward to his presentation with all of our guests here at this special place that has brought also President Tsai, who was here previously. So in that tradition of bringing people together to talk about the key critical issues of our economic trade and cultural and educational partnerships, I'm very much looking forward to his speech and his talk.
Since you'll be assuming the new post, congratulations on the appointment by Department of Defense in your latest post. With that, at the new place where you are heading to, is there any more connections or any partnerships that maybe you hope in your new role that you can work with your Taiwan partners?
You know, I appreciate the question, and at this point, I in this role as the president of the East-West Center, I think that's the important area that I definitely want to focus on, because there are many, many connections. Being able to go to Taiwan as the president of the East-West Center, that has been very positive for me. To meet with alumni who've been here since 1960, like Gary Lin, who does a Gary Lin Scholarship for Taiwanese students, to live together with people from 44 countries around the world. And you know, I would like to focus my comments more on my position here at the East-West Center right now, where we are. And so thank you. Thank you for the question, though.
So what do you think the significance of having very impactful individuals?
I think having the former president, Richard Volsteck, here is very special. It shows the legacy of the East-West Center that was established in 1960 to promote those relationships through cooperative study, research, and dialogue. And it is a legacy. I stand on the shoulders of those who came before me, like Richard and Dr. Charles Morrison and many others who've come before me. So I think it's important that they are all here, because this is what we call the pu'uvai. There's a little abstract art piece behind me, and that's called the pu'uvai. Pu'uvai in Hawaiian means heart. This is the heart that beats throughout the Indo-Pacific, that connects people. And I think it's appropriate that they are all here to talk about this, because everyone wants to see peace, prosperity, and stability in the Indo-Pacific. Thank you.
Center, how will you expect what he will express about Indo-Pacific peace and stability?
I expect that President Lai will reaffirm his commitment to the kind of values that both Taiwan and the United States share, and probably a willingness to work closely with the new incoming U.S. presidential administration to help achieve our common goals in the region, mainly to preserve peace and also prosperity.
As you mentioned, it's going through a leadership change here in the U.S. How do you think that will affect Taiwan-U.S. relations?
I see a lot of continuity between what the Biden administration has done and what I expect the Trump administration to do. Both were pretty tough on China and quite friendly toward Taiwan.
What do you think Lai might be doing here in the U.S. to reassure the new leadership that Taiwan takes its defense seriously, that it's not taking this for granted, which is the sort of thing that Trump has been signaling?
That will be a big challenge, but if President Lai continues to emphasize the common objectives that Taiwan and the United States have in common, and maybe point out that Taiwan has in recent years raised its defense spending as a percentage of GNP to show its commitment, and continues to buy U.S. weapons, and which the U.S. needs to do better in delivering. I think these are strong indicators of a desire to do that all that Taiwan can for its own defense.
We saw in Lai's trip yesterday, he was really emphasizing the way that Taiwan and the US can cooperate on kind of softer issues like shared cultural ties, particularly with Hawaii, and also things like disaster response. To what extent are these sorts of activities or values recognized here in the US, that the Taiwan-US relationship is more than just a security issue with China? There's other things that the US could get from Taiwan.
Taiwan has always felt, and I agree that it's important, that Taiwan needs to establish an international reputation of being a good international citizen, a provider of public goods worldwide. That's important for Taiwan's relationship, not only with the United States, but its reputation throughout the world. Taiwan needs a lot of countries besides the United States to diplomatically support Taiwan.
If there's to be peace across the strait, what do you think the U.S. will play what role in this?
The U.S. goal is to deter China from attempting to annex Taiwan against Taiwan's will, while at the same time assuring China that the United States is not necessarily working toward Taiwan independence, trying to strike a fine balance there. That's been U.S. policy for many decades now, and I expect it to continue.
Thank you.
不客气。
谢谢。